of this was decided.
You really think you can change the future?
All of this was decided.
The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
Good tidings, ladies and gentlemen of the Lodge, and welcome back. Today we are talking Kingdom Hearts, we are talking Luxord and Demyx, we are talking Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, and whether or not these two characters will appear. With Kingdom Hearts Missing Link on the horizon, there has been much discussion about what new faces and old faces will show up in this incoming title. So, in today's video, I will be proposing the case for Luxord and Demyx being in Missing Link, and the case against Luxord and Demyx being in Missing Link. So, if that turns out to be enough to pique your interest, then get yourselves ready, as we are going to be diving deep into the world of Kingdom Hearts yet again. Let's start with the case for Luxord and Demyx being in Missing Link, because I actually believe there are more clues pointing towards them being in Missing Link rather than against. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that's what the outcome will be. Anyway, that aside, let's start with the most obvious scene that points to this possibility. That is going to be the scene in the Keyblade Graveyard in Kingdom Hearts 3 with Xemnas, Marluxia, Larxene, Demyx, and Luxord. So let's let it roll for a minute to give ourselves a quick refresher.
Now then, Xemnas, what is this purpose? You didn't invite us back for old time's sake.
You four are going to reveal your greatest secret. The ancient Keyblade legacy that slumbers within you. Huh?
So right off the bat, just Xemnas mentioning that they are all going to unlock the ancient Keyblade legacy within them implies not only is it likely that all four of them have wielded Keyblades, as we have seen with both Marluxia and Larxene, but that they also come from a time past, as in coming from a time before the current era in Kingdom Hearts. Now, I know we have seen the likes of Luxord already in Quadratum, but if he truly is a part of this ancient Keyblade legacy, then that means he can't originally be from Quadratum, because as we know, Unreality, at least before Sora arrived there, is a world of neither light or darkness. And if that is the case, then somebody who was originally from that plane of existence would struggle to be a part of this ancient Keyblade legacy. Therefore, I am deducing that it is probably more likely that Luxord arrived in Unreality as opposed to originally being from there. However, that is merely conjecture at this point, and the answer to that remains to be seen. But anyway, going back to being a part of this ancient Keyblade legacy, to me this paves the way for them to be in Scala ad Caelum, if not Missing Link. Because now that we have gotten through Union Cross, gotten through Dark Road, and concluded the Dark Seeker saga, that leaves only one window of time open for these two to appear and be a part of this ancient Keyblade legacy. And again, when we consider that Missing Link is going to have a lot to do with bloodlines, I am willing to bet that if this is the truth, Luxord will be from one bloodline and Demyx will be from another. So again, just to round that up with Quadratum, since it is a world of neither light nor dark, therefore no Keyblade, therefore no legacy. There is one other detail I feel is worth noting in this scene. Take note that you have Marluxia and Larxene positioned on the left, and Demyx and Luxord positioned on the right, both of them in pairs. So again, consider that we have one pairing on the left and one pairing on the right. The pairing on the left can date back to Union Cross, and perhaps the pairing on the right will date us to Missing Link. But again, that could just be me looking too far into it. One of the things that makes building a case for this pretty tough, however, is that when it comes to Demyx, we know next to nothing about his backstory or where he came from. There isn't a whole lot for us to work with when it comes to Demyx, so it does in turn make us quite reliant on Luxord here. So, to round us off on the case for, before we move on to the case against, we have the ancient Keyblade legacy, Union Cross on the left, Missing Link on the right. Luxord is currently in Quadratum, but based on the ancient Keyblade legacy comments from Xemnas, we can deduce that he may not originally be from there. No light or darkness, no Keyblade, no legacy. Then when we consider that when it comes to Union Cross, Dark Road, and the Dark Seeker saga, the whole ancient Keyblade legacy for Luxord and Demyx remains unexplained. They did not appear in Union Cross. They did not appear in Dark Road. Perhaps the missing link here is the one thing that may round off this mystery. And, again, before we move on to the case against, I really believe the whole title of Missing Link is going to have a lot of meanings to it. But I think part of this is about tying up the loose ends from the Darkseeker saga, and when we consider Organization 13, be it the original or the real Organization 13, we know where all of them came from. We know how all of them ended up in the organization. Whether it be they are Ansem the Wise's apprentices, whether it be they date back to Union Cross, whether it be that they were one of Xehanort's other selves, or in the case of Vanitas, being a true darkness, or at least it seems that way for now. But when it comes to Luxord and Demyx, we really don't have a way to connect the dots for how they got into the organization, or what even made them eligible. But perhaps we will finally get some answers in Missing Link to find the missing link of how they ended up in the organization. So let's move on to the case against them appearing in Missing Link and remind ourselves that with Demyx, we don't really have a lot to go on. His backstory and past life is very ambiguous, and there just isn't much to work with. However, with Luxord, there is one thing that stands out to me, and that is that with Luxu, a man who knows everything. He knows what's in the black box. He knows Xehanort is just a scapegoat. He knows what will happen to Sora at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. He knows about the Master of Masters' true plans. Again, there really isn't anything that Luxu doesn't seem to know. However, he doesn't know who Luxord really is. And if Luxord is from Missing Link, I would imagine that his identity is something that Luxu would be able to figure out, that would be information that he would have in front of him. But we won't know for sure until we get our hands on Missing Link. Seeing as Luxu being in Missing Link is implied from the trailer wielding the no-name Keyblade, I imagine that if Luxord is from this time, it's something Luxu could have figured out. Another character that I believe pokes a hole in the idea that Luxord could be from Missing Link is actually Xemnas. How could Xemnas know about Luxord being a part of the ancient Keyblade legacy, but Luxu being clueless as to who he is? That would have to mean that Xemnas, or by proxy Xehanort, had information that Luxu otherwise didn't. And as we know, with everything from Union Cross to the Black Box to Subject X to the Book of Prophecies, it seemed like Luxu was always one step ahead of Xehanort. But we don't have any proof that Luxu knows about Quadratum. However, we do know that Xehanort, and by proxy Xemnas, does know about Quadratum, so if Luxord is originally from there, then that would serve to explain how Xemnas could know about his ancient Keyblade legacy and Luxu ends up clueless about who he is. But again, at the end of the day, we won't know the truth until Missing Link comes out. But until then, we will be here to speculate, theorize, analyze, and do our best to figure it out. But with all that said, I want to know what you think, sickos and normies, when it comes to Demyx and Luxord. Do you think we might see them in Missing Link, or do you think they may originally be from Quadratum and or Unreality? Drop into the comment section and let me know. But until then, all you sickos and normies, be good out there, be good to yourselves and each other, and I will see all of you beautiful sickos and normies next time.